Mahaperivachala. You can get down wherever you want to. As the night progressed, people started sleeping on the floor and on their berths, but the girl continued to sit. When I woke up at 6 o'clock the next morning, she was dozing. That meant that she had not got down anywhere. Her dinner box was empty, and I was happy that she had at least eaten something. As the train approached Bangalore, the compartment started getting empty. Again, I told her to sit on the seat, and this time she obliged. Slowly, she started talking. She told me that her name was Chitra. She lived in a village near Bidha. Her father was a coolie, and she had lost her mother at birth. Her father had remarried and had 2 sons with her stepmother. But a few months ago, her father had died. Her stepmother started beating her often and did not give her food. I knew from her torn, blood-stained blouse and the marks on her body that she was telling the truth. She was tired of that life. She did not have anybody to support her, so she left home in search of something better. By this time, the train had reached Bangalore. I said goodbye to Chitra and got down from the train. My driver came and picked up my bags. I felt someone watching me. When I turned back, Chitra was standing there and looking at me with sad eyes, but there was nothing more that I could do. As I started walking towards my car, I realized that Chitra was following me. I knew that she did not have anybody in the whole world. Now I was at a loss. I did not know what to do with her. I had paid her ticket out of compassion, but I had never thought that she was going to be my responsibility. But from Chitra's perspective, I had been kind to her, and she wanted to cling on to me. When I got into the car, she stood outside watching me. I was scared for a minute. What am I doing? I questioned myself. I was worried about the safety of a girl in a Valley Junction station, but now I was leaving her in a big city like Bangalore, a situation worse than a previous one. Anything could happen to Chitra here. After all, she was a girl. There were many ways in which people could exploit that situation. I told her to get into my car. My driver looked at the girl curiously. I told him to take us to my friend Ram's place. Ram ran separate shelter homes for boys and girls. We were at the Infosys Foundation, supported him financially on a regular basis. I thought Chitra could stay there for some time and we could talk about her future. After I came back from my tours in a few weeks, there were about 10 girls in the shelter, and 3 of them were of Chitra's age. Most of the girls there already knew me. As soon as I reached the shelter, the lady supervisor came out to talk to me. I explained the situation and handed Chitra over to her. I told Chitra, you can stay here for 2 weeks. Don't worry, these are very good people. I will come and see you after 2 weeks. Don't run away from here, at least until I come back. Talk to your lady supervisor. You can call her Akka. Akka means elder sister in Kannada language. I handed over some money to the supervisor and told her to buy some clothes and the necessary things for the girl. After 2 weeks, I went back to the shelter. I was not sure if Chitra would even be there, but to my surprise, I saw Chitra looking much happier than before. She was having good food for the first time in her life. She was wearing new clothes and was teaching lessons to the younger children. As soon as she saw me, she stood up eagerly. The supervisor said, Chitra is a nice girl. She helps in our kitchen, cleans the shelter, and also teaches the younger children. She tells us that she was a good student in her village and wanted to join high school, but her family didn't allow her to do so. Here she is comfortable and wants to study further. Whatever plans for her future, can we keep here for some more time? Soon Ram also joined us. Ram knew the whole story and suggested that Chitra could do a high school nearby. I immediately agreed and said that I would sponsor expenses as long as she continues to study. I felt a shelter knowing the children had found a home and a new direction in her life. I got busy with my work and my visits to the shelter reduced to once a year. But I always inquired about Chitra's well-being over the phone. I knew that she was studying well and that her progress was good. Years went by. One day, Ram phoned me and said that Chitra had scored 80% in her 10th class. And I went to the shelter to congratulate and talk to her. She was very happy. She was growing up to a confident young woman. There was a brightness in her beautiful dark eyes. I offered to sponsor her college studies if she wanted to continue studying. But she said, no, Akka, I have talked to my friends and made up my mind. I would like to my diploma in computer science so that I can immediately get a job after 3 years. I tried to persuade her to go to college for a bachelor's degree in engineering, But she did not agree. She wanted to become economically independent as soon as possible. Somewhere inside me, I understood where she was coming from. 3 rainy seasons passed. Chitra obtained her diploma with flying colors. She also got a job in a software company as an assistant testing engineer. When she got her first salary, she came to my office with a sari and a box of sweets. I was touched by her gesture. Later, I got to know that she had spent her entire first salary buying something for everyone at the shelter. Soon enough, Ram called me to discuss a new problem. Chitra is now a working girl, so she cannot stay in the shelter since it is only meant for students. I told Ram that I would talk to Chitra and ask her to pay the shelter a reasonable amount of money per month towards rent. This way, she could continue staying until she got married. I strongly felt that the shelter was a safe place for an unmarried orphan girl like Chitra. Ram asked me, "Are you going to look for a boy for her?" This was a new and even a big problem. As an informal guardian, I had to find a boy for Chitra, or she had to find a life partner. This was a great responsibility. No wonder people say I have a penchant for getting into problems, but God also shows me unique ways of getting out of them. I told Ram she is only 21. Let her work for a few years. If you come across a suitable boy, please let me know. I called Chitra and gave her my opinion about her staying at the shelter, and she happily agreed to stay on and pay rent. Days rolled by, and months turned into years. One day when I was in Delhi, I got a call from Chitra. She was very happy. "Akka, my company is sending me to the US. I wanted to meet you and take your blessings, but you are not here in Bangalore." I was ecstatic for Chitra. I said, "Chitra, you are now going to a different country. Take care of yourself and keep in touch. My blessings are always with you." Years passed. Occasionally, I received an email from Chitra. She was doing very well in her career. She was posted across several cities in the US and was enjoying life. I silently prayed that she should always be happy wherever she was. Years later, I was invited to deliver a lecture in San Francisco for Kannada Kota, an organization where families who speak Kannada meet and organize events. The lecture was in the convention hall of a hotel, and I decided to stay at the same hotel. After the lecture, I was planning to leave for the airport. When I was checked out the hotel room and went to the reception counter to pay the bill, the receptionist said, "Ma'am, you don't need to pay us anything. The lady over there has already settled your bill. She must know you pretty well." I turned around and found Chitra there. She was standing with a young white man and wore a beautiful sari. She was looking very pretty with the short hair. Her dark eyes were beaming with happiness and pride. As soon as she saw me, she gave me a brilliant smile and hugged me and touched my feet. I was overwhelmed with joy and did not know what to say. "Chitra, how are you? I have not seen for you ages." With a sweet surprise, "How did you know that I will be in the city today?" "Akka, I live in this city and came to know that you are giving a lecture at the local Kannada Kota. I am also a member there. I wanted to surprise you. It's not difficult to find out about your schedule." Mahabharivachan.